How's it guys, Munash here, and today we're going to be talking all about the whole Alliance War potion and loyalty situation, because I have been getting a few questions about my thoughts on the subject, especially after Kabam's most recent post, and I have spoken about this in line chats. I think I mentioned it on Twitter and of course in the CCP Discord, but yeah, overall I just think the changes suck. I'm not a fan of them at all, and there's a few reasons for that. And first of all, I want to say that I kind of understand why they want to do this. You know, it makes sense because we earn loyalty from Alliance War, so might as well have the potions in the loyalty store for Alliance War. And of course, Glory is an Alliance Quest resource, so get Alliance Quest potions with Glory. But the whole transitioning thing is what I have an issue with, first of all, because they're trying to implement this stuff pretty quickly. Like they said, by next week, Wednesday, when Season 33 starts. These are some pretty dramatic changes to be making so quickly. I would have at least, like at very least, bare minimum, would have liked to see a longer adjustment period to at least see if the numbers can make sense, because the way they look right now and the way they calculated it by using averages is not really ideal, because the range in terms of item usage is massive across the different levels, different tiers. Even in the same tier, you could be in the exact same alliance and one guy could be spending half the amount of items because he takes like half the amount of fights. So it might be more beneficial for those in lower tiers, or even if you don't take Alliance War very seriously. But if you're like in a top master alliance where it's pretty standard to be healed up before each fight and of course boosted fairly adequately, the cost really starts to add up, especially now with rank 4 6 stars. We tend to heal up even more, and that's another problem with the whole potion system, is how outdated we are. Because I mean, level 4 9.5k health is not going to do a whole lot for a rank 4 6 star. I mean, these are the same potions we used for 5 stars in the past, and we still have that 15 item cap, so nothing is scaling with the increase of health. I really think we should be acquiring at least level 6 health potions at this stage, but yeah. So I haven't spent that much time looking at the numbers comparing the old to the new, so I apologize if I get anything wrong, but it looks like the way it's scaling in terms of cost is going to be pretty much the same as how it did with the Glory store, and we'll be able to purchase 1 or 2 per day for 20,000 loyalty, which sounds like a lot just to heal for 9.5k health. But they are also going to be dramatically increasing the amount of loyalty we get from Alliance War. Like in tier 1 right now, when you win a war you get 12,000 and losses 4,900. And that's going to change to 54,000 for a win and 27,000 for a loss. So that's a pretty big change, which might be adequate to alleviate the potion stress a little. But there's still just so many other factors that haven't really been properly taken into consideration. Because we don't just spend loyalty on potions, you know, there's so many other things we can buy, such as boosts, you know, all the different grey boosts, the different class boosts, even the more standard boosts that increase attack and health, although they're just lesser boosts, which is another thing I have an issue with. Like, why can't we buy even just standard attack, health and champion boosts whenever we want? I'm not even asking for greater boosts, which are really annoying to acquire, because you basically just either have to pay 3,000 units at the end of the CAF completion, or just get some offer in the unit store, but yeah, you can't just get them whenever you want. Okay, I had to come back and edit this one because I just noticed that the changes for the sigil store just went live, and looks like now you can actually buy a standard champion boost or an Alliance War champion boost with gold as well, which is actually quite a very nice addition, although it doesn't really help free-to-play players, you know. So yeah, that is a pretty nice improvement, but obviously it's not going to really help solve the major problem. It's also interesting how the Alliance War boosts are not in the loyalty store. We still have to pay units for those, or just get them from the Alliance War crystal. But anyway, all these items are pretty important for Alliance War success. In fact, the boosts are arguably more important than potions, because, you know, you can have all the potions in the world, be fully healed up for every fight, but still feel underpowered because you're not hitting as hard as you usually would, or you don't have that extra edge that you might get from having a bar of power at the start, or being able to tank 3 hits, or getting power back when you throw a special 2, or just having extra damage or health. Whereas when you use some boosts, there's a much higher chance of not needing potions because the fight will go a lot smoother. It really hit me 2 days ago when I saw some Mystic power boosts in the loyalty store. I had 0 at the time because, you know, I'm frequently using Mystics like Doom, Sorcerer and Tigra in Alliance War. So I wanted to get at least 3 when I noticed that the price of getting 4 is exactly the same as 1 level 4 health potion. 4 class boosts. I can do an entire Alliance War with 4 class boosts and maybe take 8 fights. I don't know how to quantify how much a standard champion boost is, since we can't actually buy that with loyalty, but lesser attack and health is 8k and I think a champion boost is 23k. On average, I'd probably use maybe 2 sets of attack and champion per war, But the main thing is I just think it's a bit ridiculous that a potion that heals a rank 3 6-star with about average health for about 23% of that health is about the same as 4 class boosts, or maybe what would equate to a standard attack and health boost in terms of cost. And it's quite interesting how over the years we've seen almost everything in the glory store get cheaper, except for potions. Those just don't seem to go down for some reason. Yet our champs keep getting stronger. It made sense when we were still using 4 stars and even 5 stars, I guess. But now with rank 3 and rank 4 6 stars, you need more to heal up the same amount percentage wise. And this whole problem would have been a lot more apparent if it weren't for the compensation packages. That is the main reason why we've been able to play Alliance War without worrying too much about item usage or managing our resources as much. Because there is a lot of value in those comp packages. I mean, if I just look at the items for Alliance War, so taking away Alliance Quest potions and map crystals, all those Alliance War team revives, health potions, boosts, and the actual loyalty itself equates to about 195,000 loyalty in terms of value. And we're getting that on a weekly basis. Now you could argue that it's just compensation. If the game was working fine and we had no control issues, you wouldn't be having it in the first place. But if that were the case, Alliance War would look very different right now. It would be a lot more expensive, especially if you want to compete at the highest level. And a lot of people just simply wouldn't do it because the rewards to cost ratio is just not very good. Especially when you compare it to Alliance Quest, we were barely getting any tier 3 alpha or tier 6 basic compared to what you can get from map 8, and not even at the highest level. Like, you don't even have to be top 20 to get a good amount of tier 6 or tier 3 alpha. And that's a weekly or 8-day thing, whereas Alliance War seasons, you only get rewards once every 6 weeks. If there's no delay, of course. And even with the comp packages, we still saw a lot of people just stop playing Alliance War very competitively and just focus on Prestige and map 8 because that's where the most valuable rewards are. But now they have buffed the season rewards quite substantially, so a lot more tier 3 alpha and tier 6 basic. Long overdue, because Alliance War just takes so much more time and effort compared to Alliance Quest. I mean, the amount of time just for planning, coordination, strategizing, doing placements, assignments, not even doing the actual fights yet. All the prep that comes before that is quite a lot. And then you have to go in and do the fights while using a lot of items to increase your chances of not dying. That is A, very time consuming, and B, stressful. And this new system isn't really doing us any favors. Like, can you imagine dying now and then having to revive and heal up? Spend potions worth 60k of loyalty, assuming you're using a rank 3 that is not boosted. Otherwise you might need to spend more. And it already sucks so much to die in Alliance War during the season. Now it's also going to be expensive for you. Even if you don't die, you could still take a lot of damage during the fight and then have to heal up. So the way I see the comp packages is, even though it is compensation, it's been more helpful as a system to deal with the high costs or demands of Alliance War and an outdated loyalty store. So even with the game issues fixed, I don't think it would be completely fair of them to just take it away and replace it with the new system. Because at this stage it doesn't even feel like compensation. I mean, it's been what now, 7 months? For me, it feels more like something I need to be able to afford to play Alliance War at the highest level. And we're just so used to it, so taking it away could be quite a dramatic change. And you could argue that the comp package is a little bit too good. There's a lot of value in those items and you get a good amount of them every week for not really doing anything. And yeah, that's fair enough. I don't think we need everything. But that's why I said I would at least like to see a longer transition period, because even with the proposed increase in loyalty, it just does not match up with the comp packages, like not even close. Keep in mind the increase in rewards will scale with tier, so you could be in tier 5 and have the same amount of costs or demands as somebody in tier 1, but your rewards will be less, and that might affect how you play Alliance War or how seriously you take it. Like now, you might have the skill, prestige, communication skills, whatever, but now loyalty might be your limiting factor to playing Alliance War at a high level. So yeah, I don't know how this will play out. Hopefully they can do a good job in increasing loyalty, not just from finishing a war. I'm sure there's a lot of other things they can do to give us more loyalty. Or just reduce the price of these goddamn potions. Like, it's ridiculous how much you pay to heal a champ for about 25% health. Otherwise, I don't know what Kabam were thinking when they made that announcement. In fact, they were probably just thinking like Mr. Krabs.
Money!
Or they just genuinely thought it was a good idea, despite the concerns of what seems like hundreds of players just looking at the discussion thread on the forums. And of course several CCP members in the Discord. Like, we've been discussing it quite a lot over the past week. Although I must admit, I only joined the conversation on Friday because you know how inactive I am. In fact, I'm probably one of the least, if not the least active member in the CCP Discord. I usually just use the don't have time excuse. But after I saw the announcement, I was just so disappointed and I was like, damn it, how did we lose this one? So yeah, obviously this is something that I felt very passionate about, so I've probably sent more messages in the past 2 days than I have over the past year, just regarding this topic. And we're still discussing why the proposed solution might not be adequate, but also trying to see how we can make it work, maybe by increasing the ways we get loyalty or reducing the cost of certain items. Honestly don't know if they'll even consider this, given Kabam's track record. Not exactly the best when it comes to listening to the player base or doing what we actually want. Champion rebalancing. I don't know if it's just a large corporation thing or they are just that out of touch. Maybe a bit of both, but I still think the discussion is worth having, so I would like to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on the subject? Although I think I have a general idea, like there seems to be a consensus, but perhaps I missed a few things, or you might have a very different perspective to mine. Because I'm somebody who, well, first of all, I have a YouTube channel and I spend a considerable amount of money on this game, partially because of said YouTube channel. And I'm someone who plays Alliance War at pretty much the highest level. I tend to take a lot of fights each season. Last season I took 99 fights, 9 of those were bosses and I had 2 deaths. So yeah, I can see myself using well over 1 million loyalty worth of items in one season, perhaps even closer to 2 million. And I'm an officer in Group 3, and the only reason for that is because they kind of needed me to be for Alliance War, so I get very heavily involved in the planning, coordination, checking people's fights and all that. And that's not gonna get any easier if loyalty becomes a limiting factor. Like, imagine checking if people have enough loyalty now to buy items. Can you imagine recruiting based on loyalty, like instead of prestige? If I see Kabam start selling loyalty, yo, I'm gonna be so pissed. I just don't think you should be able to buy loyalty. It should be earned like in real life. But yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it there. I don't really want to rant for too long, but I hope you guys found this interesting, and as always, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.